All right, and now we want to get onto sports chat, and we decided to find out, should you, be complaining about getting stuck in traffic? There are alternative means of getting to work, and one of those that's becoming very popular is cycling. However, many are concerned that cycling can be extremely dangerous, especially given that our Kenyan drivers don't really take cyclists to be serious road users for one reason or the other. So we decided to go out and find out from a professional, is it first of all possible to cycle to work? If it is, how do you do it? We do have cycle lanes. Are they respected? And well, this is what we have to bring for you. So if you'd like to possibly change your mode of transport, still keeping healthy, well, here's an alternative. All right, on Morning Express today, we've decided to give you an alternative means of transport. However, I know many of us are probably concerned on the safety aspect of it. There are quite a number of advantages. I mean, there's so much traffic in this city of ours, and not just in Nairobi, in most cities anyway. And cycling has become an alternative. But of course, many of us, the concern is one, safety, and also the aspect of, with all this pollution, how healthy is it? So joining me today is Jim, and Jim is a professional cyclist, and he's going to just brief us on how we can do that safely and how we can do that effectively. So Jim, I don't know how long you've been riding.
Currently, I've been riding since 2015. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started professional racing.
Okay.
In 2015. But on a bike, I've been on a bike since 2013.
Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll set off, and as we continue, we're going to have some information from Jim on to how we can do this. As you've heard, he's been riding now for a while. I haven't been riding for that long. I've only been riding now for, let's say, I'd say what? Maybe 3-4 months. So, yeah. So what? Yeah. So one of the challenges I've found is safety. Okay. How do you ensure that you ride safely?
First off, you have to ensure that, first of all, your gear. Mm-hmm. You have to ensure at least you are visible to other road users. Mm-hmm. Try and be as visible to other road users through colorful wear. Mm-hmm. The lime green is a good choice. Mm-hmm. It's a good choice. You need
to be pretty bright. Huh?
Yeah, you need to be pretty bright, mm-hmm. at least for so that everyone can see you. Mm-hmm. So that's the gear part of it. Mm-hmm. Second thing, concerning the gear, you should also have a helmet. Mm-hmm. A helmet is also very essential. And you have to get a good quality helmet because recently I was involved in an accident and it actually saved my life.
The helmet?
So, yeah.
Okay. What happened in the accident?
In the accident, I was cycling along Waiyaki Way. Mm-hmm. And then a matatu came from behind and it hit me from behind. I went under the vehicle and it ran over my legs.
Whoa!
Yeah, so that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Were it not for the helmet, mm-hmm. My head would be pretty damaged because the helmet took most of the impact when I fell down. Okay. So it had 3 cracks. Mm-hmm. I still have it at home. Mm-hmm. It had 3 cracks, so you have to ensure you have a good quality helmet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing.
Okay, how do I go about choosing a good helmet? Because I'm sure anybody in business is probably just selling it, but
yes,
how do I look for one?
Yes. For example, when choosing the right type of helmet, mm-hmm. you should feel the quality. The quality I mean, mm-hmm. you should take the helmet, mm-hmm. press it a bit. Mm-hmm. If it's firm enough, it's a good helmet for you. Mm-hmm. If it wobbles when you press it, mm-hmm. then that's not a good quality helmet. You might fall and it might break and it might also damage your head as well. Mm-hmm. So a good quality helmet is it's a hard helmet, mm-hmm. and you test it by pressing it around.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I also noticed that you have some gloves on you. I don't have gloves.
Yes. Uh-huh. The gloves are also very essential, mm-hmm. because let's say when you fall or when you have an accident, mm-hmm. Mostly you fall down and your hands are the first thing that goes to the ground.
Point of contact.
Yeah, point of contact first thing is the gloves. Mm-hmm. So if you have the gloves, mm-hmm. at least your hands won't be so damaged, depending on the type of crash or something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
The other thing I noticed that's different is your shoes. I just have my normal training shoes, but I noticed that your shoes are different.
Okay, these are professional cycling shoes. It's also used with the pedals.
It locks onto the pedal.
Yes, it locks onto the pedals. So these are, when you lock into the pedal, it enhances your performance on the bike. And also it's a bit tough. It's not like the normal sport shoe. So let's say even when you crash, when you scratch the ground, the sport shoe will be torn out more compared to the cycling shoe. Yeah, compared to the cycling shoe, because the leather is a bit tough, and some shoes are even made of carbon fiber. They are light and very durable and very, very, very strong.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. The other thing is glasses. I see you've got yours at the back, but how important is it to have, a good pair of sunglasses?
A good pair of sunglasses is important because let's say when you're cycling for long distances, and the sun is when it's a hot day, the sunglasses help from the damage to your eyes to the UV rays. Actually, the glasses are polarized. Yeah, they're not just the normal glasses you can find maybe for 200 or no. Yes.
And they're proper.
Yeah,
and I imagine that they are proper riding sunglasses. Now,
yes,
we're just about to go round a roundabout,
yes,
so
yes,
I think we'll concentrate a little bit more. But the other thing that I find that's different between your bike and mine is yours is what we used to call Comerera.
Yes.
Whereas this is more of a mountain bike.
Yes, in the olden days they're still called Comerera, but professional terms, yours is a 26 mountain bike, and this is a road bike specifically for racing purposes. This is purely for racing, and a mountain bike is more conducive for commuting and moving around the city. Since the city is not all roads are like this,
right?
So you find that a mountain bike will be more conducive to commuting in the city. Yes.
Okay. So if one was now to think of cycling to work,
yes.
Before we come to the safety aspect, of course there is the cost element.
Yes.
Because what you've mentioned is a good helmet,
yes,
a good bicycle,
yes,
some good shoes.
Yes.
Everything is geared towards safety.
Yes.
Are those expensive? Is it something that one, can afford easily?
Okay. What happens is, depending with the brand or the manufacturer, each and every item has its own price, depending with the brand. For example, your mountain bike, you might find that some have like your shock is X-Trail.
Right.
So you find that some mountain bikes have Fox shocks, and those are quite expensive.
Okay.
So it all depends with the brand that you choose to buy, but they're not so expensive. Depending with your budget, you can get something that suits your budget.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's now look at safety.
Yes.
Because that's, I think, the biggest worry for many people.
Yes.
I've met so many people who'd love to get into cycling.
Yes.
And I mean, it makes sense with the amount of traffic that we have.
Yes.
You get around much faster.
Yes.
However, the concern is normally safety.
Yes.
How do I ride safely? Given that, first of all, very few roads... That was noisy. Very few roads have designated cycling lanes.
Yes. First of all, you have to, when you get onto the road, first you have to have the confidence on the road. First you have to have the confidence on the road, because if you don't have confidence, someone from behind will hoot at you. You'll end up in a ditch.
Right.
You'll end up in a pavement. Or you'll end up much worse, hit by a car, run over by a car.
Right.
So one thing you have to make sure, you as a rider, you have to communicate to the driver behind you. You have to make sure, you have to ensure that you alert the driver behind you of the intentions of your intentions on the road. You have to ensure that if there's a junction, if you're heading left, if you're heading right, if you're going towards the roundabout,
You're very clear with your communication.
you're very clear with your communication.
And that's hand signs, right?
Yes, that's just pure hand signs. Yeah, that's hand signs. And when, let's say, especially on the roundabouts, when you decide to pick up cycling as your mode of transportation, you have to ensure at least you know the rules, the rules of the road. You have to ensure that at least, even if you're not a driver, even if you don't have a license, you have to ensure that.
Now that's confidence. It's confidence right there.
Yes.
From a matatu. You okay?
Yes. As I was saying, that's the point where I was hit by.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there.
Wow, I must say that you're very confident to even flag down the matatu and still.
You have to ensure that you're confident on the road.
Okay.
Otherwise, when you get there and you start stopping, the driver behind you or the driver on your side won't know exactly what to do.
What you're thinking.
Yeah, won't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
So unless you communicate that your intentions, you want to go right, you want to go left, that's the only way you'll get to ride safely on the roads.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
There's also the question of speed.
Yes.
Because you find that, all right, that is speed right there, but you'll find that we want to, especially when you're going downhill, there are places you'll want to maybe speed up so that as you're going up, like now we're going up, you have gathered momentum. Any tips on how one does that and how to do it, especially because I've found that where there are cycle lanes, there are people who are using the cycle lanes. So it becomes very difficult to navigate.
Yeah, it becomes quite difficult to navigate. When it comes to speed, that's the training part when it comes to riding. For example, your bike and my bike, they both have gears.
Yeah.
They both have gears, and in some bikes, the gears are written on the shifters.
Yeah, like mine are written.
Yes, these are the shifters.
Right.
So this is the front gear. So I'm guessing yours is 3 and at the back is written.
7, so that's 21.
Yeah, no.
8, 7.
Is it 7 or 8?
8 actually.
Yes, that's 24. Yes,
24, yeah.
that's 24 speed. For your bike, it's a 24 speed. So, for example, when you're going up a hill, you'll want to use the lower gears, not so low. You spin your legs. Don't grind your legs. You'll be like
You
this.
kind of tire yourself.
You'll tire yourself more. So just find the right tempo. Spin your legs. Just go with the flow. Don't overspin your legs again.
Okay.
And don't put too hard gears. For example, when you're climbing up a hill, you don't want to be grinding like this.
Okay.
You're supposed to, because this, first of all, you'll damage your joints, especially your knees, and in the overall result, you won't go anywhere. So when you're climbing up a hill, choose a softer gear, engage a softer gear, and then spin. You find the right tempo, depending with the hill, depending with the route that you're using, and the length of the hill. Some hills might require you to in professional cycling, it's called to launch an attack. So if a hill is about 10 meters or 20 meters or under 100 meters, you can launch an attack, and that's now the racing aspect of it.
And now launching an attack is where you try and gather momentum so that you can now go up the hill.
Launching an attack, now the same momentum that you're saying, when it comes to an attack, the momentum comes instantly.
Okay.
It comes once. For example, you might be riding with your fellow race competitor, and then when it might be side by side, or I might be behind him. So when it comes to launching an attack, you launch.
You take off.
Yes, you take off and go. That's what happens.
Okay.
Yes, I'll demonstrate to you on the hill here.
Okay.
How an attack is launched.
Okay.
And now that's the.
That's getting into competitive cycling.
Yes, that's now competitive.
How big is cycling in Kenya?
Cycling in Kenya, I can say.
Having it as a sport.
In terms of having it as a sport, one thing I can say is that it's growing. For example, we are in the year 2018. It's not the way I found it when I started cycling in 2015. For example, there's an annual event that happens every October. Every once of the year. It's called Tour de Machakos. It's a 4-day race that happens in Machakos. So you find that in 2015, the turnout was around just under 100. But 2016, the turnout was around 200.
Okay.
Was around 200.
All right, I think we're approaching a hill, so we can go and we can get some momentum and we can actually take off so that we have some space.
No problem.
Yeah. All right, so that was an attack right there.
Yes.
But now, if I wanted to get into competitive cycling, what do I require? This is definitely hard work.
Yes.
But very good for the heart.
Very good for the heart.
This would be good cardio, right?
Yes. One thing with cycling is that it works up your entire body, your heart, especially your legs. And actually, that's what helped me recover
quickly.
Yeah. It helped me recover quite fast. Because it's not been even completely, it's not been a full year, but I'm back on the bike again.
Wow.
But it also depends with your mentality, having a positive attitude towards the sport. And once again, once you do that, it will be easier for you.
Okay.
You won't find it so difficult, because you can imagine if someone cycles 30 kilometers one way daily, so that's 30 going. Let's say if it's commuting to work.
That's 16 total.
Yeah, that's 16 total in just a day. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give to somebody who would like to start cycling and they're a bit, mature? Because we learn cycling when we're younger.
Yes.
What advice would you give to somebody who didn't learn how to cycle when they were younger, but would like to learn now?
Yes. So we get that question a lot. Personally, I work at a bike shop. It's called Elite Bike Shop and Service. It's at Kilimani.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get asked that question a lot. One thing I can tell someone who wants to join cycling, you are never too old to cycle. As long as you have the strength, you have the will, and you have the passion for the sport. As long as you have those three,
you're good to go.
You are good to go. No matter the age, no matter your race, no matter your gender, all can cycle at any age. As long as you set your mind to it and you put your heart into it.
Right.
That's the only way.
Okay.
You have to have the,
And what are the first few tips for somebody who's starting lessons? Because I know the big fear that many have
Yes.
is to fall.
Yes.
And there's also the saying that you haven't quite learned how to ride a bike until you
Yes.
fall.
Yes. What I can say about that is if you want to learn or if you are a beginner, don't be afraid of falling. Once you accept that you will fall, then it will be easier for you, because if you start cycling and then you have the fear of falling, you won't even concentrate on the task at hand. All you will be doing is trying not to fall.
Right.
And when you fall, you learn from that mistake. When I had the accident, I learned from that mistake. I'm a better rider than I was before, and hopefully I'll get even better.
I guess the lesson here, even in life, I mean,
Yes.
to run anything successful,
Yes.
you have to be ready to fail in one way or the other.
Yes.
But the thing
The
is to come
challenges
out
have
stronger.
to be there, and you have to embrace those challenges.
Right.
You bounce back from them, and then that's the only way.
Okay.
Yes.
Then there is a question of the difference in bikes and the costs.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I've been looking online
Yes.
and looking for maybe a more professional bike, but they come quite pricey.
Yes.
So where does one start? Can you start with just your normal Black Mamba ile ya kubeba makaa?
Yes. Yes. That one you can start. For example, in my cycling journey, I started with a mountain bike. It was a double suspension. Double suspension means it has a suspension here at the front and in the middle.
Oh, the one that has a thing
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it has the one also in the middle. And the bike was not even a brand that was recognized. It was called Fister. And that bike that's the one I used. For example, when I was starting, I was just cycling in the estate, and then I started progressing it further. I started going for potatoes at Gikomba.
With the bike?
I used to go with the bike. I used to stay in Buruburu back then. So I used to go for potatoes, go to the house, we cook a meal with my brother.
So that's what you were doing for a living?
No.
Okay.
That was just on the weekends.
Oh.
At that time I was in college. So on the weekends, that's the only time I had free to at least cycle around, have fun, and at least have an adventure, you see?
Right.
Yeah.
So you start small?
Yeah, you start small. For example, a mountain bike, a second-hand mountain bike. For example, at our shop, Elite Bike Shop and Service, they range from 10,000 to around 45,000.
Okay.
That's the.
And what's the difference between? There's that difference in price.
Yes.
But what makes one more costly than the other?
What makes the cost to vary is the components that it has. What I mean by components is the gears that it has. The gear levers that it has. If it has a chain, and also depending with the speed of the bike, that also determines the price to vary quite a bit. For example, your mountain bike has disc brakes.
Yes.
So you find that system is a bit more expensive than the normal.
Normal brakes.
Yeah, than the normal brakes. They're called V brakes.
Okay.
So when you find a bike with the disc brake, the value will be a bit higher.
Because of that technology.
Yeah, because of that technology. Now yours is a mechanical system. There's one. There are also hydraulic systems on the bicycle as well. So you find a mountain bike that will have a hydraulic system and a disc brake as well. It will be of a higher value than the mechanical one.
Okay.
Also depending with the shock that it has, there are some that use spring, some that use air, and the others that use fluid.
Okay.
So you find that all of those, they vary in prices. For example, a shock that uses air would be in the 20,000s and above. Yeah, and the spring one is around 5 going down, or between 5 and 10.
And 10.
Yes.
All right. Now there's the aspect of while riding.
Yes.
I was reading somewhere about hydrating.
Yes.
And we've talked about the gear that we have.
Yes.
But if you're riding, what are some of the things that you possibly need to ensure that you have?
Yes.
To make sure that, one, you hydrate.
Yes.
And maybe other things that you may need to do, maybe like a toolkit.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, on the hydration bit, first of, depending, if you're a beginner, you'll tend to take more water because your body is not yet used to the exercises that you're giving it. So you find that depending on the distance that you're heading, you'll want a bike that has a water cage. You'll want a bike that has a water cage. You'll want a water bottle, and you'll want some water. So depending on the, let's say for the professionals.
Okay, we have some traffic lights here now. Yeah, so you'll need some, we need to go. Yes, you're talking about the hydration?
I was talking about the hydration. You'll want a bike that has a water cage. This is the water cage where you place the actual water bottle.
Mine fell off.
Yeah, you should get one at our shop.
One, eh?
Yes. So
we're advertising anyway, yeah, go on.
Yes. So you'll want a water bottle, at least 500 ml. And then one thing with hydrating while you're cycling, you find that when you cycle, when you're out of water, you'll tend to gallop a lot of water at once. That's actually not
advisable.
Not advisable at all.
Why?
Because first of all, when you gallop a lot of water all at once, when you get back on the bike, chances of you getting a stitch will be very high. So what you'd want to do when you're cycling and you're hydrating on the road, you want to take small sips, just small sips. Or if you're off the bike, you also just take small sips, take a breath, take a breather, relax a bit, let your body recover, and then when getting back on the bike, don't push yourself too hard. Start slow, and then you progress as you're building. You build up the pace, you build up the strength. You go as you're progressing. Okay. You don't just, for example, launch an attack immediately after taking water. You just go slowly, progressing, and eventually you will get there.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also now the safety aspect. I've seen people doing what I'm doing now, which is riding without holding your handbars.
Yes.
And that, of course, has its potential dangers. But
yes.
Are there times that you can do that just to rest your lower back?
Yes, it's actually quite. It's one of the bike skills that a beginner should have, because you find that when you cycle with no hands, you have more control with your bike.
Right.
You are more aware, and you also find that it's not such a. You should know where to do it.
Right.
And when to do it. Don't do it when there's a lot of traffic, because, for example, if you do it in the CBD, you're riding with no hands, someone is on the phone, comes in front of you, you're stretching.
Sudden stops.
Especially if you have, if you have clipped in, if you have the cycling shoes, it can be quite dangerous for you.
Okay.
So you need to know when to do it, where to do it, but it's also. It's one of the essential skills that one should have, because it gives you more control of your bike. You're aware of your bike. You're aware what to do, what not to do. Yeah.
All right, let's finish off with cycling in the evening.
Yes.
Because we've talked about the reflective gear.
Yes.
And I see you have a light in front there.
Yes, yes.
You have another one at the back. I don't.
Yes.
I guess those are essential both day and night, or is it just for night?
Depending with the conditions in the day, let's say if it's a cloudy day, you'll want to have them on even during the day, because they're also quite visible. But also there are also the different types of lights available in the market. They're the ones that use battery, and for example, these ones that I have currently. They are the rechargeable ones.
Okay.
So you find that they're quite bright. So during the during the night, it's advisable that you have one in the front and one in the back. Reason being, the driver at the back can see what's ahead of him. That being you, you should also have a luminous or a reflective jacket. That's also very, very important, especially on the jacket. If you don't have the lights, at least try and have the jacket. And then if your bike doesn't have lights, you can buy the strips of reflective paper.
Which you can stick onto the bike?
Yeah, which you can stick on the bike.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so maybe just your words of advice as we go up the mountain, the hill.
Try and use the softer gears.
Oh yeah, I need to go easy on my knees.
Go easy on your knees. Spin some more. Build up the momentum. Don't go like this.
Yeah.
Because now, when you start doing this, you're losing energy on the upper body, and all your energy should just go on the legs.
On the legs?
Yeah, in fact, even when cycling, you should direct most of your energy to the legs. Just hold the handle grip as lightly as possible. Don't grip it so much, like you're fighting with the bike. No. Just hold it gently. Direct all your energy to the legs, because that's where it's needed. That's where it's needed the most.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess that's it basically in terms of safe riding and ensuring that you get to where you're going. Avoid traffic. One thing I forgot to ask you.
Yes.
Is the fumes.
Yes.
Because one of the first concerns I had when I started cycling is fine, I'm getting a cardiovascular exercise.
Yes.
But what am I taking in?
Yes. When it comes to the fumes, there are, for example, if you have allergies, there are products in the market, they are like gas masks, but they actually, I've not used it personally, but they prevent some of the fumes and some of the dust. But when you're just riding like this, like the way we are, first thing you need to do, you have to make sure your diet is very good. Take lots of water. Take lots of water. And then fruits. Fruit is also a very essential part. Is a very essential part when it comes to a cyclist. Yes, fruits and water. In terms of quantity, water. Let's say in the evening, mostly take it before you go to bed. Before you go to bed, you can take about 2 liters of water. You just take it slowly. Let's say if you get home personally at around 8 or 7, you just take, you put your water there to at least regain the water that's been lost through the cycling through the whole day. So you just take it slowly by slowly. At around up until around 10, and then rest a bit, and then in the morning, let's say before a ride, take some water 1.5 to 2 hours before riding.
Okay.
If you take, let's say, a liter now and cycle in the next 15 minutes, high chances are you'll get a stitch.
You'll get a stitch.
Once you get a stitch, you won't go anywhere.
Okay.
You'll be burning up, and you won't enjoy the ride that day.
Okay.
Yes.
Then do I need to warm up before I start riding, or is cycling already a warm-up?
Yes. Before cycling, there are some few stretches that someone can do. Warm-up is very essential. Number one, you can do stretches, especially mainly you focus on the legs. Maybe you can do some leg raises. You can do a bit of sit-ups, and then stretches. That's before. That's before riding. Not too much. Don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, chances are you won't get to where you're going.
Okay.
So you just do a little bit, around 15 to 20 minutes. You can stretch yourself so that you get a a bit of circulation.
Yeah, and you warm up your muscles.
Yes, you warm up your muscles. Because then again, if you just get up and
Begin cycling.
begin cycling, you won't find it. So there'll be a lot of lactic buildup.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be a lot of lactic buildup in your muscles, and it's quite painful.
Okay.
It's quite painful for
Jim,
you.
I must say thank you very much
You're most
for
welcome.
giving us all those tips. And
Yes.
I forgot to put on my Strata. Strata is an app where you...
Strava.
Strava, yeah.
Yes.
Where you check how many kilometers we've done. I don't know how many we've done.
That's about, I'd say, probably under 10.
Under 10.
Yes, probably under 10.
Okay.
Once we finish the whole trip, maybe it will be just about 10 there.
Okay.
Just about 10.
But thank you very much for joining us and giving us those tips.
You're most welcome.
And well, this is where we're going to wind up our cycling exercise, and well, with you, but for Jim and I, we're going to continue for a bit. But remember, the key thing there is, first of all, get the right gear. Ensure that you have the right gear. I don't have all of it. For instance, I don't have my gloves, and that would help you be safer. Also, ensure that the bicycle you get is one that is favorable for you in terms of height, and also the speed that you do. And yeah, we wish you all a safe riding. It is possible to ride in Nairobi. I do that, although it's very dangerous. And like you've heard from Jim, he's had an accident. But I guess I normally say that even waking up is very risky, because the fact that you're awake means you could be dead.
Yes.
So really, that should not stop you. However, ensure that you're safe.
Ensure
Jim,
that you're safe.
thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure riding with you.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to hand over back to the studio. And that's, well, Morning Express. And we are glad that you're watching. Refreshing, quite a challenge right there, especially on the hilly parts, but good stuff and good tips there from Jim, who is a professional rider. So instead of complaining that you're always stuck in traffic, consider cycling. And it is possible to cycle. However, we cannot overemphasize the need for you to stay safe and ensure that you're cautious, but also to drivers. Please consider, what was the saying? The saying goes something like, be kind to animals. And yeah, those animals that are cycling are also human beings. And it was interesting to also note that majority of Kenyans feel like cyclists somehow are not... they're a lower cadre of, Kenyans. But there you go. Please, let's all be considerate on the roads. So do consider cycling as a means of transport, but also has a lot of health benefits that you can glean on. It saves you time. It is very predictable if you're leaving a place and you know how long you'll take to get there while cycling, as opposed to driving where you can never ever tell whether you're going to take an hour or you'll take longer. So consider, and that was great stuff. Thank you very much, Jimmy. And maybe just to revert to some of the questions, or rather the answers that you gave us for the question this morning, we were asking the relationship between politics and corruption and what your thoughts are. Korir Lenny says, yes, a big one. I suggest if someone is mentioned in corruption deals, they should be prosecuted immediately. We have James who says, instead of fighting corruption, we simply politic about it and a new agenda comes on board. We simply forget and we wonder how this country is going to the gutter. Last one, Cedric says, politics is 100% undermining the fight against corruption. With this saying, Atim Duetu is being targeted and there's still more coming in. Keep the conversation going on online. However, because of time, right here on Morning Express, we have to say goodbye and wish you all a fantastic and a wonderful day. So from a very committed and dedicated team, we say thank you for watching. Do have yourselves a brilliant day and God bless. Do not switch off, do not turn off. We do have a news center coming up immediately after this. Have yourselves a good day. God bless.